If you saved all year and had nothing by December, this one is for you. Yolanda Pryor did it 3 years running, and the 3rd year she finally caught the pattern. $2,800, put back 60 at a time, gone by New Year's every single time. Nobody stole it. She did not gamble, she did not shop, she did not take one trip. There was no emergency either, nothing broke that she could point at. No hospital, no lawyer, no car sitting out on the side of the road. And nobody asked her for it. Not one time. That is the part that kept her up at night. 3 Decembers in a row, she sat down at her kitchen table with the same number in front of her, and the number was nothing, and she could not have told you where a single dollar of it went. She could tell you every name she had written in icing that year. 47 weddings, 100 and some birthdays, 2 retirements and a christening out in East Ridge. What she could not tell you was where her own money went. The bakery lights come on at 6, an hour before the rest of the store, so for 1 hour every morning Yolanda worked in a building that was mostly dark, with the case glowing white in front of her and the cold room humming behind. 36 years in that bakery in Chattanooga, and she lived 12 minutes away in Alton Park. In the house her mother left her. Her hands did 4 things all day: level a cake, crumb coat it, turn the stand with her left while her right laid the border down. Write the name. There was a callus on the inside of her right middle finger shaped like a comma from 36 years of squeezing a bag, and in the winter it cracked. She had a brass star tip she bought at 17 with her first check, back when the store was under a different sign, and it lived in a tobacco tin in her apron pocket with 3 others she never used. That tip had put a rose on the wedding cake of women who had grandchildren now. The names. That was the part people did not think about. Happy birthday, Deacon Ford. Congratulations, Trina. We will miss you, Sarge. Welcome home. 36 years of other people's good days, in her handwriting, in butter and sugar. At home, there was her mother, Miss Odessa, 81, in the back bedroom. Her daughter, Brianna, 30, 2 streets over with the boy. The light bill, the water, the church. Miss Odessa had a saying she had said her whole life, and she said it the way you say a thing that is simply true. If it is for the house, it is not spending. Yolanda had never once turned that sentence over to look at the back of it. If you have ever been the one everybody counts on, and you cannot remember the last time somebody counted on themselves instead, this space was built for you. Every year, starting the first week of January, she put $60 back out of every check. The first year she made it to the middle of November with $2,640. She knew the number because she checked it on her phone standing in the walk-in cooler where nobody could see her face. By the 9th of January, there was $9 in there. The second year, she got smarter. She quit the hair appointment and started doing her own in the kitchen. She carried her lunch in a butter tub. She reached $2,800 by the last week of October, and she remembered thinking, "This year I am going to make it." By the second week of January, there was $31. The third year, she did not tell one living soul she was doing it, because saying it out loud had started to feel like bad luck. 2,800 and change in October. Nothing on New Year's Day. 3 Decembers, and the worst part was that she could not point at anything. There was no big night out. There was no coat she bought herself. She went through every month in her head, looking for the hole, and every month came back clean. So she landed where a woman lands when the arithmetic will not close. She decided the problem was her. Her mother's glass sugar canister sat on that counter the whole time. The one Miss Odessa filled every Sunday for 50 years. You cannot tell about a jar of sugar from up top. It looks full on Monday, and it looks full in March, and it looks full the week it runs out, because you are always looking down into it. Yolanda kept it filled without ever once picking it up. Money that went to the house was never spending. Her mother had put that in her when she was 9 years old, and it is the whole reason she never wrote a single number down in her life. You do not keep a ledger of what is not spending. That January, she stopped saving altogether, not out of anger. She just did not see the point in filling something with a hole in it she could not find. Miss Willie Odom ran receiving at the back of that store and had since before Yolanda started. 74 years old, clipboard against her hip, glasses down her nose, and she counted every case that came off every truck with her own finger. Yolanda went back there on a Tuesday for sheet pans and found her arguing with the driver about 2 flats of buttermilk. When he pulled off, Miss Willie licked her thumb and turned the page. "Corporate keeps sending people down here to watch the back door," she said. "Nothing walks out the back door. It leaves a spoon at a time, out the front." She said it the way you would say the truck runs late on Tuesdays. She was talking about shrink, about samples and breakage and the buggy of dented cans, about how a store loses $40,000 a year without one soul stealing anything. Then she counted her flats and never looked up. Yolanda got her sheet pans and went back to the bakery, and she did not think about it again for 11 days. That night, she came home and did not put the radio on. She washed out the butter tub and set it upside down on the towel. She wiped the stove down twice. The kitchen was already clean. Her apron was over the back of the chair, and she took the tobacco tin out of the pocket, the way she did every night, and set it on the windowsill over the sink. And then she stood there with 2 fingers still on the lid. The freight train came through Alton Park a little after 9, the way it does, and the glasses in the cabinet ticked against each other, and she waited for it, the way you wait for a thing you have heard every night of your life. There was a spot of dried icing on the inside of her wrist she had missed in the wash. She rubbed at it with her thumb, and it would not come, and she quit trying. When the train was gone, the kitchen was too quiet, and she stood in it anyway. She went to bed at 10 and lay there with her thumb going over that same spot on her wrist in the dark. The 4th year, she did not start in January because there was nothing to start. Whatever was in the account stayed in the account, and whatever was needed came out of it. And she quit looking at the number altogether. Not looking felt better than looking. In March, the boy needed cleats. In April, her mother's cousin passed over in Rossville, and there were flowers and there was gas both ways. In May, the school sent home the letter about the trip to Nashville. She covered every one of them. That is what the money was for. At the store, a stock boy went by her with a tray of sausage on toothpicks for the samples, and she watched him hand them out to 5 people between the bakery and the deli, and she heard Miss Willie in her head. A spoon at a time. She smoothed the icing with the flat of the knife and went on with the border. That afternoon, a lady ordered a half sheet for her granddaughter, and Yolanda wrote it on the back of a brown bag, the way she had done for 36 years, and she caught herself writing the price at the bottom and underlining it twice. The lady had not asked what it cost. The bag came home in her apron pocket on the back of the kitchen chair, and she did not remember carrying it out of the store. It was the phone bill that did it, and the phone bill was $75. Brianna called on a Thursday while Yolanda was standing at the bus stop in front of the store. She got about 6 words out. "Mama, they cut my phone off, and I do not get paid until the—" "I got it," Yolanda said. She hung up and moved the money with her thumb right there at the bus stop, and it took about 9 seconds. And then the bus came and she got on and rode home. Somewhere out over the bridge, it came to her that she had not let the girl finish her sentence. Nobody had asked her. Brianna never got to the asking part. Nobody ever got to the asking part because Yolanda got there first, every time, with 3 words. "I got it." She had been saying that sentence since she was 19 years old. She said it to her mother, to her daughter, to her brother in Atlanta, to the church, to the woman at the counter who came up $2 short on a sheet cake. And she had never once said it and been lying. She always did have it. That was the whole trouble with it. 9 seconds does not feel like spending. 9 seconds feels like being the kind of woman who has it. The next morning she took a brown bag off the stack in the bakery, folded it in half, and put it in her apron pocket. When the note came home about the boy needing $45 for the trip, she took the bag out and wrote 45 on it, and the date beside it, and then she called her daughter. She still said, "I got it." She just wrote it down first. By the middle of February, that bag had 11 numbers on it. 11. $390 in 6 weeks, and the biggest single one was 90, and not one of them was wrong. School pictures, a copay, a tire that would not hold, the plate for the church anniversary. She kept the bag folded in the tin with the tips, and some nights she took it out and read it like mail. Writing it down was supposed to feel like getting hold of something. It did not feel like that. It felt like standing on a scale. Then came a Saturday in March with the store full, buggies backed up past the deli, and a woman she knew from church came through the line with 2 little girls and a birthday cake and came up short. Yolanda paid it at the register. $26. She was 3 steps back toward the bakery before she thought about the bag. She wrote it down late, standing at the sink in the back, and it was writing it down late that made her put her hand flat on the counter and stand still a minute. It was not paying the 26 that got her. It was how good it had felt at that register. It had felt like being somebody. It had felt better than the $60 a week ever felt. And she had known that about herself for about 11 seconds now, and she did not care for it one bit. She did the whole year on a Sunday night in April at the kitchen table with her mother asleep down the hall, going backward through the phone month by month, and every time she found one, she wrote it on a bag. When a bag filled, she started another one. The dates were right there in her hand, and she had never once scrolled back through them, because why would a woman go looking through her own kindness? By 11 o'clock, the table was covered in brown paper. She counted the entries twice, out loud with her finger. 41. 41 times in 1 year, and not a single one over $90, and every one of them true. Cleats, copay, flowers for Rossville, gas both ways, school pictures twice, because the first pack came in wrong. 2 funerals, a space heater, a deposit to get the water turned back on at her daughter's. She added it 3 times because she did not believe it, and it came out the same every time. $2,840. The number she had been trying to save was the number she had been giving away. Same year, same hands. The tin was sitting there on the table with the star tip in it, and she put her hand flat on top of it and left it there. She said the word out loud in that kitchen, and the word was not broke, and it was not foolish, because she had never been either one. Erased. 36 years of writing other people's names, and 1 year of paying for other people's days, 41 times, in amounts too small for anybody to notice, including her. Nothing walks out the back door, the old woman had said. It goes out the front, a spoon at a time, and everybody watching the back door. Small money never leaves in one piece. It leaves in amounts so small and so right that a woman would say yes to every one of them twice. That is why she never sees it going. She sat there with the light on over that table until almost 1 in the morning, and she did not cry until she started stacking the bags. Nothing about her got harder after that night. She wants people to know that part. She paid the same things. Cleats got bought. Flowers went to Rossville. What changed was 13 words long, and she said it for the first time in May, when Brianna called about the light bill. "That is 110, Yolanda said. "Hold on, let me write it down." There was a pause on that phone, and in the pause her daughter said, "Mama, never mind. I will move some things around." Yolanda sat down on the arm of the couch. 30 years. And it had never once occurred to her that the girl did not know the numbers either. $60 a week went back in, starting that Friday. 7 months later, there was $1,400 in there, and it was still in there, which had never happened one time in her life. Some Sunday in there, she took her mother's sugar canister down off the shelf and turned it around and held it up to the window, and she could see exactly where the sugar was. And on the 2nd of August, which is her birthday, she took a 6-inch round out of the case at the end of her shift, and she loaded the bag with the brass tip she bought at 17, and she wrote a name on it, her own. She stood there in that white light with the case humming and looked at it for a long time before she ever cut it. Nakia came on that fall, 31 years old, 2 of her sister's kids in her house, working the closing shift on the deli side. They walked out together to the lot most evenings, that time of day when the sun comes in flat under the sign and the whole parking lot goes gold. Nakia said it on a Tuesday, laughing, the way women say the things that are not funny. I am just not a saver. My mama was not either. It is not in me. Yolanda stopped walking. She knew that sentence from the inside. She had believed it for 3 years running, and she had believed it in a walk-in cooler with her phone in her hand and her face where nobody could see it. Then she went back in the store and got a brown bag off the stack and a pen out of the drawer. And she put a rubber band around the 2 of them and gave it to that girl in the parking lot. You are a saver, she told her. You have been saving all your life. It goes out the front, honey, not the back. A little at a time, and every bit of it for somebody you love, and that is why you cannot see it. I write it down now before I say I got it. Not after, before. And listen. Sugar looks full from the top until the day it is gone. You have to take the jar down and turn it sideways. Nakia looked at the bag and the pen a minute, and then she put them both in her purse instead of her pocket, which is what you do with the thing you mean to keep. Yolanda watched her get in her car. Then she walked back across that gold parking lot to her own, and she was not carrying anything. And that was new too. If you have ever been the one who said I got it before anybody finished asking, put it in the comments in these words. I got it, and now I write it down. There is a woman in your phone who needs to read that from you tonight, so send it to her. If Yolanda's year sounded like your year, stay with us. We put one of these up on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. There is a free app in the comments that women here use to keep count. It does not judge one number on that list, and neither do we. Be as good to yourself this week as you are to everybody else in that house. There is another story waiting, about a woman who wrote one sentence on an index card and did not touch $4,000 for 2 years. And tonight, before you cut the light off, go take one thing down off your shelf and turn it sideways. Just look at it from the side.